Good morning, traders, and welcome to Trading Wave Weekly Outlook Analysis. All right, so guys, my name is Sandile Ngobo, one of the chart analysts for Trading Waves. Victor is not available today, so I'm going to be your host. All right, so before we get started, if you wish to contact us, what you're seeing right now on the screen, our contact details, we've got our email address there. If you wish to contact us, you can use that email address there, info@ELLIOTTWAVE.com. Below that, we've got a WhatsApp number. If you wish to contact us there, you can also reach us on that WhatsApp number. We've got a Telegram channel. Also, we've got our website. That is our website page there. You can visit up for any inquiries regarding our services that we have. You can also check us out on Twitter and also on a Facebook page. So when you get to a Facebook, this is the page that you are going to see. This should be a landing page. So this is us there. You can follow us on the social media pages, guys. We do post a lot of charts that we post there, the befores and afters, and even the charts or the move that you are expecting to play out before they play out. So you can be lucky there and see that chart, and then it will be, should be able to help you make money. Right, so let's get started without wasting any time. Let's look at how did the market perform on the previous week, and also to see what are we focusing going forward to the coming sessions. Okay, let's get started. Yep, we're gonna start with AUD New Zealand. We've been talking about this pair here for quite some time, right? So everybody should have been able to get this trade here, because before we even got around this area here, when we were somewhere around here, we've been talking about this, that it should trade higher, and the expectation was that once this is done, reached equal legs, the blue box, what we call it a blue box here, you will see that when we go on the trade setups, you will see that this was posted for our members, that we're expecting that this immediately touches the blue box. Then you start to see this move to the upside. Now let's see how did AUD New Zealand play out here. Okay, so that was a chart for AUD New Zealand after we've got into the blue box here, and we've already got this move to the upside here. Our members are already long here. Like I've said, and I'm also going to refer on the website, guys. We've got a strategy which we like to call our blue box. Okay, so this has got into the blue box, and we've already long here, and the trade is already running risk-free. You can see we're still expecting more move to the upside here. Please take note that the befores and afters, guys, will also be showing what are we expecting going forward. So when I go this year during the market analysis, I'm going to be going as fast as I can. So please take note of that. So AUD New Zealand, we're expecting to see more move to the upside here. We are expecting to see this structure here. This is an ABC. We've already got our wave A or wave B. If you know about the sequence, then you should know where we're expecting AUD New Zealand to go. So we're expecting plus or minus 1,000 of pips there that we're expecting AUD New Zealand. So and the next one will be pound CAD. So pound CAD has been this has been our forecast that we're expecting to see this move to the downside here. So we've been looking at this here to be a triangle here. This being our wave A, our wave A here, our wave B, our C, and our wave D. Missed the other side of the triangle, but that's acceptable. So now we've been looking for this move to a downside, and then from there we're going to be expecting a move to the upside. Let's see how did pound CAD play out there. Pound CAD. If you're always in the charts, you will see that pound CAD has already given us this move. This has been over 500 pips, just this move alone here. Now we still expect a little bit of a push to the downside before we see this move to the upside here. So you don't just go there and buy there, guys, just because we are saying we are looking for this, we are going to buy here, because this structure can still change. This can get invalidated, and you find that pound CAD is going to go all the way down. But for now, this is a structure that we are looking at here for this trying to complete. Then after, we're going to be looking for this move to the upside. So with the help of the indicator, we've got a special indicator that we use here. So it is going to confirm to us when pound CAD is ready for this move to the upside here. Now let's look at the next one here. EURCAD, similar to what happened with the pound CAD. Okay, this is similar here. You will see that we've been looking for this move to the downside for quite some time. We did not just focus this from here. If you've been following us, you would see that we forecasted this from here, that we were going to get this move to a downside and then a move to the upside. All this was forecasted. If you've been following us here, you would have made money here on a EURCAD just on this structure alone. So we're looking at this one to have completed our wave A here, and we're still looking for the move to the upside to complete our B. Then after, we're going to be expecting a move to a downside, which is our wave C. But on the previous week, this was our forecast that we're expecting for this to continue with this move to a downside. Now let's see how did EURCAD play out here. EURCAD. As much as we've got this structure here, we were around this area here when we expected this move to go to the downside. But after we got this here, the 3-wave moves here, then we said this should still give us this move to the upside. But eventually the move that we're expecting has already played out on a EURCAD. So this is the structure that we're looking at here. This to be our W, our wave X. Eventually we're going to be looking to play out that wave Y, that will be completing the wave B. But we are almost completing this move here. So you don't just go and sell EURCAD. Soon and very soon, you should expect that this is going to start to make this move to the upside on EURCAD. I'm going to show you an alternative structure, guys. When we go on a live analysis, I'm going to show you an alternative structure with EURCAD. What can make EURCAD to trade even more lower? I'll share that one when we go on the live analysis. Let's look at the next one here. New Zealand CAD. Similar to this one, if you've been following here, you will see you would have made money here on New Zealand CAD. Okay. Let's open that one. New Zealand CAD, we've been looking at this here to complete this move to the upside. Okay, this is the structure that we've been looking at. This to be a 3-wave move to the upside. And then from there, we're expecting to see this move to the downside. Okay, now let's see how did New Zealand CAD play out here. Right, so we're around this area here on New Zealand CAD that we're expecting this move to the upside here. We've got the move to the upside. Now we are already in this move to a downside. So we'll be looking for pullbacks against this swing high here in 3711 swing. Then we're going to be looking for more short opportunities on New Zealand CAD. You should see some continuation to the downside. As I go along, guys, I'm going to be referring to the trade setup. I'm just going to go through the trade setup that we had once I'm done with this before and after chart here. So pound AUD, it has once been a previous week. You've been following this one. Has been once our trade of the chart of the week rather. So we're expecting before we even got this one here, okay, there was a chart that we had from around this area here that we're expecting this move, which was over 700 pips, and expecting this move to a downside here. Now, this was an update that even when we got around here, we still expected a little bit of a move to the upside before we get this move to a downside. So already on a pound CAD, on a pound AUD, rather, we've already got this move, each perfect. It turned exactly around the area of 190, and then it started to make this move to a downside. So we've already got this move to a downside. Now what we've already had is this move here. So now let's see, we're expecting to see this one to play out this move to a downside, but let's see on the next chart, how did pound AUD play out after that forecast. Was referring to this move here, that we've got this move to the downside, to the upside rather, and we've already got this move that was over 500 pips here, and we are looking at this here to have completed the corrective structure here. Okay, looking at this to be an ABC, and now we're expecting to see a continuation move to the downside here. On the chart of the week, you will see that at some point we were expecting that this correction was not yet done. We are around this area here, and then we're expecting for this one more move before a move to a downside. Unfortunately, this was for the members, they were aware that there's that possibility. Unfortunately, if you're not a member, you do not get to see these updates here. As much as we're focusing this structure here, yes, it was a valid structure per the Elliott wave. We're looking for this to continue the move to a downside. But if you use some form of a correlation, you would have seen that this was already done with the move to a downside. Looking at like the instrument like AUD US dollar, which plays a big impact when you come to this per pound AUD per year. And also looking at the instruments like EURAUD, we saw that this was already done here, and we're no longer expecting that move to the upside, and we're expecting for this move to a downside there. Yeah. Now let's look at the next one here. Please take note, why am I saying that the chart was updated for the members is because these charts, guys, are updated every single day. We update them on a New York Open, rather. We start with an update on a London Open. Before London Open, these charts are already updated for the members and shared. And also before New York Open, we do these chart updates. So it's very interesting what is happening in the members era. Apart from that, we've got a daily technical video that we shared before the London Open. We've got some short videos that are available for everyone. You can catch us up on YouTube page there. You can look at that if you want to see our trading ideas for that specific instrument. But very interesting. And also please watch out. We'll be launching our new website or our new home. So you want to check that out, and you will want to try us and see how we wave differently. Now let's look at the next one here. That will be EURAUD. EURAUD. similar to pound AUD here. You've been following this one here right from here. We said this was going to make this move to the upside here. Even when this was around here, this was a chart of the week when we were around here. We said we're expecting this move, which was almost 420 pips before we saw this move to a downside. So where are we now with the Euro AUD? We've already got this move here to a downside. So we are somewhere around here. We've got this correction and we're expecting for a move to a downside. On the previous week, you saw that even when we are right now, I'm just showing you this high level view chart here that we expected this move here. Last week, we showed you that how we expected that the correction was taking place here. This was shared to our members, and this was one of the trade setup that we look for on a Euro AUD for this move to a downside. So we're still bearish on the Euro AUD, at least in the short term coming. But if you can see on the weekly time frame, let me just show you here. Why are we looking at that move to a downside on a Euro AUD? I'm going to show you on a daily the structure that we're expecting here. So any pullbacks in 3711 swing on the Euro AUD, guys, we're going to be selling opportunities. Can you see that on a daily? This is why we are selling this Euro AUD here. Let me just show you here on the weekly. I think it's going to be much clearer there. Euro AUD on the weekly, we're looking at this structure here. This is why we are selling this here. We've got this as an AB and we're looking for this move to a downside. So we're looking for a similar move to this one here. So every time you're getting these pullbacks, you're going to be looking for short opportunities on a Euro AUD. So we're already short, not that we're going to drive all the way down here. We're going to be taking each and every wedge every time, because there's still that possibility that this can be an alternative structure. This can do this structure here. So hence I'm saying that we're going to be taking each wave every time it makes these bounces. We're going to be looking for selling opportunities, but eventually we are going to be chasing this wave 3 here. Now that I'm showing you that bigger picture here on Euro AUD. Now let's go back. There are quite a number of these befores and afters, guys. So if I don't cover them all, because we need to get down to the chart analysis. Now let's look at this one here, CHF yen. CHF yen, we've been looking at this here for quite some time, and I'm sure you should have made money with this chart here. We've been looking at this structure here. This should be an ABC right inside the blue box before we see this move to the upside here. How did CHFJPY play out? CHF yen, let's have a look at this here, the after chart. So CHF yen has already given us this move here that was almost about 200 pips, just this move to a downside. Unfortunately, it missed the blue box, and we've already got this as an impulsively move to the upside. The blue box was around this area here, but we were able to trade this move to a downside there, as it was a wave C. So now we're expecting more continuation. This has just confirmed that the trend, this structure that has already come to an end. Now we are looking for pullbacks here to complete. Then we're going to be expecting a continuation move to the upside. So against this low here, you can expect to buy CHF yen. Let's look at the next one. I'm going to try and go as quick as I can here, guys. CADJPY, we've been talking about this one for quite some time as well. We've been looking at this here to give us this 3-wave move to a downside. All these charts here, guys, like CADJPY, it was posted, it was shared inside the members areas under the trade setup. So we look at this one to come into the blue box, and we're expecting this move to the upside here. How did CADJPY play out? Let's have a look at that here. CADJPY, the after chart, we've got the move, the 3-wave move to a downside that we're expecting, this being an ABC here, right into the blue box, and we're already long from the blue box. We are looking for this move to continue. We've already running this trade risk-free, and we're still expecting to see this one here to be a 3-wave move and then a continuation move to the upside. But pay attention, this is already a 3-wave move here. We are in a wave 3. Okay, we're in a wave 3 of this purple minute degree of wave 5. Of this minute degree. So these pullbacks, they might not be this deep here. So you might find out that this is already done here, and we're going to be expecting to see this move to the upside there. A break of this here will be confirming that this is ready to go. But already our members are already long from the blue box. If ever it does come back here, we'll be looking to add another position for this move to the upside there. Yeah, that's how CADJPY played out. Let's look at the next one here. AUDN, if you check out on our social media pages, this was shared here before it even played out. So we'll be looking at this here. You've been a trend change rather, after completing the wave 4 in the minute degree. So we're expecting to see this 3-wave pullback and the continuation move to the upside. And let's check out how did AUDJPY play out there. AUD yen, we've got the 3-wave move that we're expecting here. This should have been, it's a 3-wave move, but in terms of a sequence, it was an 11 swing sequence. We've got this here to be the WXYXZ right into the blue box. This blue box, please take note, this is not the blue box of this WXY structure. It was just a coincidence that the wave Z terminated exactly into the blue box, and now we are already long here. So we've been looking at this one here to be a 3-wave move. It missed our blue box that we're expecting around this area here, but we are looking for this one to continue with this move to the upside here. So these charts, they should help somebody to make money here. Now let's look at the next one here. That will be AUDCAD. You've seen this one, how we saw it in the previous week, that we're expecting to see this one to give us this 3-wave move. After completing the 3-wave move to a downside, being our W, we expected this to be a 3-wave move and a continuation move to a downside. Now let's have a look at this one. How did AUDCAD play and what are we expecting going forward? AUDCAD, we've seen that it has given us a 3-wave move to the upside that we're expecting here, this being the 3-wave move. It might have gone higher here, but you saw that our invalidation level was around this area. We did not expect that this was going to come around this area here. Now, what have we got here? We've already got this one to be a 3-wave move, being our W. Mind you, we are chasing these wave Z in the minor red degree. So we've got this one as a 3-wave move, this being our W in a high degree. We are just expecting to see this pullback here. If you get this one around the area of 1561.8, then you can look for a short opportunity for a 3 more waves to complete the sequence. Now that's the expectation on AUDCAD going forward. Let's look at this one here, Euro Pound. We're expecting that we're going to see this move to the upside here. Okay, we're looking at this one to be our wave 1, wave 2, and this should have been our wave 1 in a lower degree. This being our wave 1, and we expected this year to be our wave 2, and we expected this move to the upside. Now let's have a look at this one. How did Euro Pound play out? Euro Pound straight to the target that we're expecting here. There might be a change of a structure, but this move here just it played out. The update that you are seeing here was a London update that you can see here. The time. This was just a London update here. It was 8:44 South African time. That was just a few or just an hour before or 15 minutes before London open. This was an update here that we're expecting for this move to the upside. And you can see that this played inch perfectly, even though that we've got Euro Pound to have traded lower as far as around this area here. So it means there's a change of a structure. Instead of this being to have been our wave 1 here, we might be having this here to be a flat corrective structure like this. But eventually, we're going to be looking for that continuation to the upside on Euro Pound. Now let's have a look at this one here. On the next one, that would be AUDCHF. We expected this year to give us this to have traded lower, to trade lower here with our invalidation level here, and then expected this move to the upside here. Now, how did AUDCHF play out? I think these charts, I won't finish them all here, guys. There are too many. There are too many. This is to show how accurate we are with these charts here. Now, we've already got this here as a move to a downside without touching the invalidation level, and we've already got this move to the upside here. There was a trade setup that was right into the blue box, and we're still expecting to see some continuation move to the upside on AUDCHF. I hope this is the last one. Okay, let's look at Platinum. Platinum, you saw how we traded this one here for this move to a downside. We had a trade around this area here. It was inch perfect, reach our target at around this level here. You can see that on our previous videos. So after it crashed our target, we've had this as an impulsively move to the upside, and we expected after that impulsive move that we should get a 3-wave move pullback. This is what we expected before we see a move to the upside. So this was one of the trades that we have on the members area. So we're looking at this 3-wave move to come into the blue box, and this is exactly what has happened with Platinum. Let's look at the after chart. Inch perfect. You saw that this is a computer generating this chart here. We've got this move to the upside, exactly where we expected, and we've got this one here into the blue box. Now the expectation is for this one to continue with the move to the upside. There's a trade setup. There is a trade that is already running inside the members area. All right, so guys, before I start with the market analysis, please catch out the cryptos. Very interesting. What we've been looking at here for the past week is going to be just immediately when we are done with the weekly outlook. Let me just take you through, guys, through the trade setup that we have here. You will see that some of them they've already played out here, and some of them are still in play. So it might be like it is. So we've got this here to be our blue box trade setup. Okay, so these are all the trades that we have here under the blue box trade setup, and you will see that almost all of them, they've played out inch perfectly here. Just like the likes of let's start with platinum. Like I've just showed you the platinum, we expect it to go into the blue box. That was the forecast here, that it must go into the blue box, and expecting this move to the upside there. It has already got into the blue box, and it is somewhere around there. So we're still looking for a move to the upside. Let's look at the next one here quickly on this blue box trade setup. Pound New Zealand, we expected this one inside the blue box. We've seen that this has already got into the blue box, and it is somewhere around this, and we're still expecting for a continuation move to the upside. AUD New Zealand, we've seen this one here. Expected this into the blue box. It is already somewhere around there. We're still expecting for a continuation move to the upside. Let's have a look at the one that we have here, the one that EURAUD, 11 swing circuits into the blue box. This is already somewhere around here. We're still expecting for see a continuation move to the upside here. So this is what is happening behind the doors with the members. Okay, so CADJPY, you've seen this one here. We expected this one into the blue box. It has already traded higher here. We are somewhere here. We're still expecting a continuation move to the upside here. And lastly, we expect we've got this one here to have been an AUD, and you've seen this one as well into the blue box 11 swing. We are all already here. We're still expecting to see this move to the upside here. So I'm only going to be covering those. The rest are still in place, so that will be for the members. All right, so let's get with the market analysis, guys, starting with the US dollar pairs. Okay, let's look at the 4-hour structures. You guys will be lucky because these charts are up to date already here. Okay, let me do this here. Let's switch off this here. All right, so pound US dollar, we are looking at this here to have been a WXY structure here. This should have been a 3-wave move to the upside. This is a structure that we are looking at here. This should have been a WXY structure, being a W in a higher degree. So we are looking for this structure here. Okay, this is what we're looking for on pound US dollar before we can see this move to the downside there. So we're going to be looking for this move to the downside. But for a short term or in the coming session, expect to see some bullish move short term for a move to the upside on pound US dollar. Now, an alternative structure here that we've looked at here, guys, have been this one here. I'm going to show you here on the daily that we've looked at this here to be a running flat corrective structure here. So there's a possibility that this is already done here. Okay, this is a strategy that we've been looking at on a pound US dollar, and we are looking for this move to the upside. But this is starting very correctively here. With this starting very correctively, it's still very possible that we might have this here as a one more move to the upside, and then expect to have this expanding flat corrective structure before we see a move to the downside here. Especially that the dollar index is coming to the blue box. We're expecting a move to a downside on the dollar index. This might result in having pound US dollar to trade even more higher. Yes, we are expecting that at least it must give us this move here, but there's nothing wrong with this. It might just trade higher from here. So in the coming session, expect to see a short-term move to the upside on pound US dollar. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Euro US dollar. We've been looking at this structure to have been a WXY structure, and this has already come at our blue box. So you can look for this move to the upside. This has already come into an equal legs. So you can look for this one here to start to make this move to the upside. But just because this is already there, guys, does not mean you just go and buy this here. You need to wait some confirmation here. Okay, you need to wait some confirmation. If you're not using any indicator, how do you say confirmation? You're going to be expecting to see an impulsively move. Once you get that, then you're going to be looking for this continuation move to the upside on Euro US dollar. Okay, so at least in the coming session, expect to see that that this is already starting here. This is already starting here. So if you remember very well, on the previous week, we've been talking about this that there was a possibility, as much as we've been looking at this to have already started a move here, and we're looking for this here. We had a trade setup here with inside the members. We had this as a trade setup, and we expected this to make this move to the upside. So unfortunately, that was one of the trade that was a loss. We are humans, we make mistakes. Besides that, these charts are computer generated, so we are up against the computers here. But now the Euro US dollar looks ready to go with this move here to inside the blue box. So we're expecting to see this one here to make this move to the upside here. So every time when we are on a loss, guys, you will notice that our trades are in a small loss compared to our winning trades. And that is the nature of the Forex market. If you're saying that you're not expecting to see any loss, then I think you should consider going to the casino here, because here it's all about protecting the fund that you have here. It's not all about making those millions within a blink of an eye. Okay. So let's look at the next one, US dollar CHF. We've been looking at this one here. There's a change of a structure in US dollar CHF here. If you notice that the US dollar pairs are completing the wave 4, unfortunately, guys, I'm not going to be referring on the website because it's going to be time consuming. Okay. So we're looking at this year to have completed this year to have been an 11 swing seconds, completed our wave 4. That will mean that US dollar CHF is leading the US dollar pairs. Okay. So we're looking at this one to have been our wave 1. And we've looked at this here to have been an A, B, C, this wave C being an ending diagonal. I'm sure you've seen this here some time last week. Now we're expecting to see this move to a downside here. So we believe that this is being our wave 1. This should be our wave 2 here. So as long as this is going to stay below this swing low here, then we are going to be looking for this move to the downside. The correlation that we have between the two instruments, US dollar CHF and Euro US dollar, should be in play here. If you don't know that, US dollar CHF and the Euro US dollar are negatively correlated. So we're calling that US dollar CHF has already completed the wave 4 in the yellow intermediate degree. Let me show you this here, what I'm referring to here. Euro US dollar, we're calling this one that it has already completed this move to the upside here. Okay, so this is what we are looking at on a Euro US dollar. It has done with this wave 4 here of the intermediate degree. Okay. Now you can go and look for a trade here for this move to the upside here. And I'm going to go back to a US dollar CHF, switching off my levels. I was just showing you that, guys, so that you can see the correlation between the two instruments. So if Euro US dollar is done with that move to the downside, then we should expect that US dollar CHF is already done. But the difference is that the wave 4 here in US dollar CHF has ended here, this being our wave 1, our wave 2, and we're expecting to see this move to a downside here. So we're already starting the wave 3. We believe that we're already starting the wave 3 to the downside on US dollar CHF, while Euro US dollar is yet to start that move to the upside. So you should expect some continuation move to the downside. Yeah. With the help of the indicator, this has already confirmed that we should start to see this move to the downside. If you know the ELLIOTTWAVE theory, guys, if you're familiar with that, you should know that once you see an ending diagonal while you are in a correction, then definitely this should just confirm that this is ready for a move to the downside. Now let's look at the next one. That would be AUD US dollar. You've seen this one a couple of weeks that we've been looking at this one to have given us this being a 3-wave move to the downside, being our WXY structure. In this case here, our wave Y was extended. It did not break the 1.68 extension level here. So this was acceptable there to qualify as our wave 4. So what we're expecting now is to move to the upside. So we believe that this is already done, being our wave 1. We've got this one to have been our wave 2 and 11 swing without touching this swing low here. So we are expecting to see this one to continue with the move to the upside. At most here, alternative structures that we might have this year, if AUD US dollar is done with the move to the upside, then we're going to have to look at this here. We are going to get this move to the upside. In either case, we should get this move to the upside here. So whether you will be buying this year for all the way up for a wave 5, or you're going to be buying this year to be an ABC, because this can still be an ABC. You get this structure here before you see this continuation move to a downside. That is a possibility, but you're going to be looking for this move to the upside here based on the correlation that we have on the US dollar pairs. So Euro US dollar is the one that have got a clear structure. So that should be clearing most of the major pairs. Okay, I'm gonna put it that way. That most of the major pairs, they should follow what US dollar CHF will Euro US dollar will be doing. Beside that, New Zealand US dollar and AUD US dollar are positively correlated there. So we'll be looking at this one to have already completed this pair being a 3-wave move to a downside. A 3-wave move I'm referring to here, this should be the WXY structure, miss the blue box. And this has already started to give us this impulsively move here, especially that it broke the previous swing high here. This being here, it was just telling us that the trend, we've had this as a short-term trend to the downside, the one in red. So after this breaking above this swing high, it is just telling us that we need to watch out. The trend is coming to an end. So we've been looking at this one here in the previous weeks. This should have been a 3-wave move to a downside. Now we are looking for this move to the upside. Against this swing low, we're going to be looking for these buying opportunities on US dollar CHF to complete the wave 5. To complete 5 wave moves. 5-wave move that will be completing the wave 5 here. If you remember very well, we're looking at this here to be a wave 3, this to be a wave 4 with this beautiful corrective structure here. So we're looking for this one to continue, meaning that there's a nest that is taking place here, this being our wave 1, 3-wave move, our wave 2, we're looking for a 3 and a 4 and a wave 5 here. So we're still very bullish on the US dollar pairs, especially supported by what is happening with the dollar index. Let's look at the next one, US dollar CAD. We believe that this is already done here with the move to the upside. I should have shown you here, or if you remember very well, sometime last week, we were looking at this structure here. Okay, we had this move to the downside, and we've showed you that we were expecting to see this 3-wave move against this swing high here. This was one of the trade setup that we have here. It was just right inside the blue box. And after that, this has already started to make this move to the downside here. Like I say, guys, that if you are not in the members era, unfortunately, you are missing this out here. Because even when this made this move to the upside, we saw that this was going to make a move here. This move to the upside, and then this move to a downside here. Unfortunately, it's no longer there on the website because we update this every day. So I would have shown you how we forecasted that US dollar CAD was going to make this break move to the upside here. But inch perfect, we expected this one to make this move to a downside. So just like the US dollar pairs, we are calling them to be done with the wave 4. So these two should be in the wave 4 here. So we look at this one to be a 3-wave move to the upside. This being a W, wave X, wave Y, allowed to terminate 0.618. It does not have to be equal to this leg. This is very allowed that it can have a short wave Y. So this being our W here, our wave X, this should be a wave Y, completing the wave 4 here. Now we're calling this one to be a start of a move to a downside. This being our wave 1, our wave 2 did not come to the start of a wave 1. Now we're expecting to see this one to continue with this here to be a 5-wave move that will be completing the wave 5 before we start to see a move to the upside. But for the coming session or in the coming weeks, we're going to be expecting to see this one to continue with this move to the downside, supported by what is happening with the dollar index. DXY, we're looking at this one here to have been into the blue box. We've talked about this strategy that we've been into the blue box when we're around this area here, but this was not convincing because Euro US dollar missed the blue box. So this was not convincing that it was ready to go. Now we talk about this here, that this could have been an alternative structure here. We've had this as our wave A here. Now we said this could have been our alternative structure here. That has exactly happened, especially after we broke above this here. Then we confirmed that this was the wave 4 that we've been looking for. Instead of it being here, it has to be here now. The structure that we're looking at is this one to have been a 3-wave move, being our WXY structure. Our W, our X, this should be our wave Y here, and we believe that this is already done. So if this is already done here, you should start to see this one to make this move to a downside here. On the 1-hour chart, yes, it has started to make this here, but it needs to be convincing us. You don't just go and buy this here. At least expect to see a move that will come and take this swing low here. Once that is done, then you can start to look for this move to the downside here. Now here, I must confirm that we've been looking at this here on a previous week. We wanted to see this one here not to come at this territory. So we're looking at this here to be an A, our B, this to be our wave C here. So we were expecting that this was going to make this move. Unfortunately, the A, B, C, what we're looking at here, instead has been a wave 1, 2 here, our 3 and a 4, and a wave 5 completing the wave C. And now we're expecting to see this move to the downside on the dollar index. Now, you know what to do. If a dollar index is making a move to the downside, you should expect that the major pairs are going to start to make a move to the upside. US dollar yen, we've been looking at this here to be a structure. So we're looking at this here to have been a 3-wave move to the downside. This is a 3-wave moves here to the downside. And we're looking at this one to have already started the move to the upside. This is our wave 3 here. Okay, so we look at this here to be our wave 4. And now we are looking at this here to have already been starting a move to the upside. This being an impassively move, our wave 1. This to be a 3-wave move to the downside, being our wave 2. Now we are looking at this here for a 3 and a 4 and a wave 5 that should be completing the 5th wave of the white degree in this case here. Now there was a possibility that this was not yet done. Okay, we can still have this one to be a 3-wave move here. This can still does qualify to be a 3-wave moves here. You can still get this one to come all the way down here in 3 wave. This being a W, wave X here, and this to be a wave Y before we see the initial move to the upside. That's a possibility with US dollar JPY. But for now, against this low here, we're going to be looking for this here to be a 3-wave move here and this move to the upside. So the indicator is going to tell us if this is going to go all the way down here, or if this is just going to be a three-way pullback and then a continuation move to the upside. But that's what I'm looking at here. But when you look at the correlation, US dollar JPY, okay, the US dollar pairs are expecting a move to the upside. Now, per the correlation, it will call that this at least should give us this structure here, okay? Just looking at the correlation, it will be calling for this to make this move here before we see this move to the upside. But it does not have to be like that all the time. You might find out that we are having some strength on the yen, and the yen is going to be trading lower here. I'm not saying that the yen is going to do this here, guys. It's going to gain some strength, but I'm saying that there is that possibility here. But it would make sense if this was going to make all this move to a downside here before we see this continuation move to the upside on US dollar yen. Now let's look at pound yen. Pound yen, we're expecting to see this one to trade higher. We are expecting this one to see to trade higher. So just to show you here, why am I saying this? We've been looking at this here on the 4-hour chart. This to be our wave one. Okay, this to have been our wave one as a leading diagonal. This being our wave one, our wave two. This to have been a wave three. We believe that the wave four is already done here, and we're expecting to see this one to continue with this move to the upside there here. But that can always change. What you're seeing as a wave 1, 2, 3 can just be an ABC, only to find out that pound yen has already done the move to the upside, and it's going to start to give us this move to a downside here. Okay, so in either way, if it's going to give us this move to a downside, I will still be expecting this here. This should be a three-wave moves here to the downside, being our W. This should give us a wave X. This and wave X will be a structure like this here. We'll be expecting to see this one to come around this area here before we see this three-wave move to a downside here. So that would be a WXY structure. But against this low here, we are still going to be looking for this one to make this move to the upside here. Remember, we're expecting this to be a fifth wave, so we should see that move. But a break of this year will result in looking at this year as an alternative structure for this move to a downside. Let's look at the next one. That will be Euro Yen. A Euro Yen here. We're looking at this one here to have given us an 11 swing sequence. You've seen this one a couple of times. This to have been a WXYXZ here, to have done this here being our wave 4, and we're looking at this one to have started a move to the upside. This being our wave 1 here, and this to have been our wave 2. And this to be our wave 1 here in a lower degree. So we're looking at this one to be a 3 and a 4 and a wave 5, but another possibility that we might not get that structure here. So if you look at this here on the daily, let me just quickly show you in the daily here, that you don't just go and buy this here, but there's a possibility that this might be the structure here. We've got this one to be a 3-wave move to the upside, being our W. 3-wave move to a downside, with X. We can get this one to be a 3-wave move to the upside. This being a 3-wave move here, and a move to a downside, and get this one to be a move to the upside here. If you look at this first leg here, you will see that this does qualify to be a 3-wave move here. This could be an ABC here, which will result in this white one being our W here. So we can expect that this might even do this move to the upside and give us this 3-wave move here before we see this move. This being a W, wave X, and this to be our wave Y. So watch out on that one. You don't just go and buy it here. You can just get this one here, just like what you saw on let's go in a forward chart, just like what you saw on a EURJPY, that this could just still be the structure here. Okay, I would have expected at least this one to get around this area here before this move here. So this can still make this move to the upside and then get this one here before we see the initial move to the upside. That can still play out with EURJPY. Let's have a look at this here, CHF yen. We saw this one here that we expected this one to give us this here to have been a 3-wave move that we've got here, meaning that we're expecting to see this one to continue with the move to the upside. But you don't just go and buy there. You need to have something that is going to give you a confirmation. As for me, I'm still expecting this year before this move to the, at least against this low, we're going to be looking for that one to continue with the move to the upside. Like I've said, guys, I've covered this here during the trade recap. So let's look at CAD yen, similar to what is happening with other yen pairs. We've been looking at this one to have been an 11 swing sequence. This to have completed an 11 swing sequence here. So we're looking at this one here to have been a move to the upside, wave 1, and we've got this here to be our wave 2. This is being our wave 2 here. I should be using the same color here. Yeah, this should be our wave 2, and you look at this one here to be building a nest, this being our wave 1 here. So we're looking for this year to continue with this move to the upside. Yeah. Alternatively, if the yen pairs are already done with the move to the upside, this can be still the structure here for this move to the upside. But for now, I like the idea of this one to be making a move to the upside, especially that Brent crude oil is making a move to the upside. This will be supported for that move to the upside. New Zealand yen, we've seen that we've been looking at this one to be a 3-wave move, to have been a 3-wave move to a downside that is already done, this being a 3-wave move here to a downside. So we are looking for this one to continue with this move to the upside here. Now, there's a lot of net that is building up here. This has been our wave 1. Wave 2 here, so we could be having this one here to be our wave 1 in a lower degree. This should be a wave 2, never come to a start of a wave 1 here, so we should expect to see this one to make this move to the upside. Excuse me for those different colors there, guys, but we should expect to see this one to make a move to the upside. Even if this is not done with the move to a downside, we should expect a structure like this here, this to be a move to a downside. We should expect that we can have this one here to be a 3-wave moves here, and then expect to see this degree here in yellow to come around this area here before we see this move to the upside here. That could be the structure that we see on New Zealand yen. Okay. Let's look at the next one. That would be AUD yen. AUD yen, similar to what is happening with New Zealand yen. We've been looking at this one. We've done with the cycle to the downside. This should have been an 11 swing to the downside, completing the wave 4. Now we believe that this is already done. This have been an impulsively move, being our wave 1, and this should have been an 11 swing sequence. We saw this one during the trade setup. So we're still expecting to see a continuation move here. We've already got this as a 3-wave move. We should expect to see a move to the upside, at least on the coming sessions. Let's look at the next one, EURAUD. You saw this one here. There's nothing much to say about this one. We look at this one to be an impulsively move, and this to be an 11 swing sequence, this being our wave 2. So we should expect to see this one to make this move to a downside here. It should continue with this move to the downside, but you don't just go do that, because we're at the structural level here. So this can give us a bounce here, meaning that we can have a structure like this here. This can be a structure here, only to find out that the wave 2 is not done before you see this move to a downside for a wave 3. So watch out for this structure here. So preferable, wait for this break. You get a break here, and you get this equity structure, and then you can look for that short opportunity. But as for our members, we are already short there. Let's look at Euro New Zealand, one of the beautiful trade setup that we had here. I'm sure you saw this one here under the blue box trade setup. So we've been looking at this here to have been an impulsively move, and we've got this one here right into the blue box, this being our wave 1 here, and we look at this here to be a 3-wave move into the blue box, and we started to see this move to a downside here. So we're still expecting to see more continuation to the downside, similar to what is happening with EURAUD. Just a quick one here. Let me check this one here, guys. Let me check this one here. The blue box trade setups. Euro New Zealand. Okay, so this is the one that I'm referring to here, that we saw this one here, this to be a 3-wave move right inside the blue box. This came exactly around this area here. Now, this is already somewhere here. We're still expecting to see some more continuation move to that downside on Euro New Zealand. So those are the benefits that you get to have if you are a member. So more continuation move to the downside on Euro New Zealand. EURCAD, like I've said, that we've been looking at this here to complete the structure here. This should have been a 3-wave move to the upside, being our W. These two, we're still expecting to see this here to be our wave X, and we're going to be expecting that move to a downside. So this here to be a 3-wave move like this here. Our W, our wave X, this to be our wave Y here. Now this has already taken this low here. This has been always our target when we're here, that we're expecting this to take this low. So you can expect to see a little bit of a push to the downside before you see this move to a downside. If you took note on what we're expecting on pound CAD, there is some similarities here. Pound CAD, we're expecting this here to give us a move to a downside to complete the wave E of a triangle, and then a move to the upside. So is EURCAD. We're expecting this a little bit of a push to a downside, and then a move to the upside. So expect that on EURCAD. Going to that next session, EURGBP, we've been looking at this year to have been a 5-wave move to the upside. These two have been our wave A here, and we're looking at this here to be our wave B. Okay, we're expecting for this move here, and then we're going to be expecting that move should be in white here before we see the move to a downside. So somewhere around here, against this store here, then we can start to look for this buying opportunity on EURCHF. Look at the next one, Euro Pound. Like I've said, that it might be a change of a structure here. Instead of this one to be in our wave 2 here, we might be still not yet done with that wave 2 here. So this could be a move to the upside, being our wave 1. We could be having this here as an expanding or running flat corrective structure here. So you can say that this is a 3 here. We've got this as to have been a 3-wave move to the downside. This should be a 3-wave moves here. Let me try and draw this here neatly. Running out of time, guys. This should be a 3-wave move. This should be a 3-wave move here, and this should be a 3-wave move to the upside. So we could be looking at this one to be a 3-wave move. Does not have to be a 3-wave move. It can still come up down as an impulsively move. If it does that, then we'll be having an ABC. But if it gives us a 3-wave move, it should be a WXY structure, either being a running flat, or it can even come and take this low here, have an expanding flat corrective structure before we see this one to make this move to the upside. Yeah. So that's the expectation on Euro Pound. Let's look at the next one. Pound pairs, Pound OD. You saw this one here, still expecting for a continuation move to a downside. This should be our wave 1 here, our wave 1 here. This should be our wave 2. We're still expecting to see some continuation move to the downside here. With Pound and with AUDUSD expected to make a move to the upside, then we should expect to see this aggressively move to a downside here. So you've seen this one under blue box trade setup. So we're expecting to see this every time you get this pullback. Expect that you're going to see this move to a downside. But just like EURAUD, you don't just go and sell this yet, because we are almost at the structural level. You can still have this one to give you this structure here before you see this move to a downside here. We are going to cover that one. Okay. Euro New Zealand, Pound New Zealand rather. You saw this one here, similar to what is happening with the Pound OD. Look at this as an impulsively move. This should be in a very shallow corrective structure, but inside the blue box here, we've seen this one to be a 3-wave move under the blue box trade setup. So we're still expecting to see this continuation move to a downside here. This did not give us this deep correction that we expected. But if you saw the New Zealand pairs, they were not giving us that deep correction. Now we've been into this blue box. We're expecting to see this one to continue with this move to the downside here. Let's look at the next one. Pound CAD, like I've indicated, that this one here, we're looking at this here to complete this last leg of a move to a downside here. Somewhere around here, we are going to get this move to a down. If we can get this one here to come with a divergence, expect to see some divergence here. Once you get that, the divergence between the price and the RSI, then you should expect that you're going to see this move to the upside. You've seen that one under the trade setups or under the befores and afters, that you're expecting a little bit of a push here to complete the wave 5 of wave C, that will be completing the wave E of that triangle. Pound CHF, we've been looking at this here. I should have covered this one here on the befores and afters. We've been looking at this structure here for quite some time. This should be a 3-wave move here. Our connector here, this being a 3-wave move. You saw this here in a previous week that from this peak here, we expected to see this move to a downside here. Now, if we are calling this here to be a W, wave X here, this being our wave Y, that would mean this is a 3-wave move that we've already got here. This being a 3-wave move, you should expect at some point a deeper correction and then a continuation move to a downside here. Now, it's either this correction here is already done here. This is being a wave A, a wave B, a wave C. This can be done here. That this is a wave C here. If that's the case, then you should expect this structure here, this being your W. You expect a wave X here, and this to be a wave Y. Then after that, you should expect a similar move to this one here. It can be an ABC or it can be a WXY structure. But short term, we're going to be looking for a move to the upside. Now let's look at the across pairs. AUD New Zealand, nothing much to talk about this one here. We're just expecting this one to continue with the move to the upside. We've got this one. This is almost done with the 5-wave move here. This being our wave 1, 2, the 3. You can get this one more move, but eventually you should see this deep correction before it continues with this move to the upside. So I guess this swing low, you can look for these buying opportunities if and when we get that 3-wave structure. AUDCAD, continuation move to a downside, but before that, we're expecting this pullback here. You saw this one under the trend setup that we're expecting to see these 3 waves here against this swing high. Then we're going to be looking for that short move to the downside. New Zealand CAD, nothing much to talk about here. We've been looking at this to be the structure here, so we should expect to see some continuation. We've got this is a 3-wave move to the upside, so you should expect to see this move to a downside here. Just to give you a clear view, where are we coming from with that? If you look at this here, we've got this one to have been a 3-wave move to the downside. I'm showing you with a different color. This should have been a 3-wave move to the downside here. Now, what did we have here? We have this one to be a 3-wave move to the upside here. Now, what are we expecting? We should expect a similar move to the downside, similar to this year. So we are expecting to see this move here. So more downside on New Zealand CAD. This being a W, wave X, we're expecting to see this wave Y here. So should expect some more move to the downside. AUDCHF. You saw this one during the trade setup. We're looking at this one to continue the move to the upside. This should be an impulsively move here. This can be a wave A. As much as we're looking at this here to be a wave 1, this could be a wave A. This here to be a wave 2, or this can be a wave B here. And you see this move to the upside. Whether it's going to be a 3 and a 4 and a wave 5, still yet to be seen. But that's what we're expecting on AUDCHF. At least one more leg, even if it wants to trade lower. It should give us this leg before we see this move to a downside. But for now, we like that move to the upside for that impulsively move 5 wave. New Zealand CHF, similar to what we're expecting here. This one here, you saw this one under the trade setups. Let me just quickly take you there. New Zealand CHF, another blue box trade setup. Let's see here, New Zealand CHF. Okay, this must be another trade setup. Let's look at that, another trade setup. Let's look at this one here. New Zealand CHF, that this was the forecast here. Okay, it's another New Zealand CHF. So we expected that this was going to come into the blue box and move to the upside here. So you can already see here, this is already into the blue box here. We are already starting to make this move to the upside here. So our members are already in a profit there. It's a small profit yet, but we're still expecting to see some more continuation move to the upside here. So similar to what is happening with New Zealand AUDCHF, if this is going to be a move to a downside, it should at least give us that move to the upside. We've got this one to be a move, and if this is a correction, at least it's either this is a wave C or it's going to be a wave 3. We like the idea of this being a 3 and a 4 and a wave 5, but if it's going to be an ABC, we should be still having at least over 200 to 400 to 300 pips here before we see this move to a downside. Yeah, that's what we have on New Zealand CHF. Let's look at the CADJPY. We're still expecting a continuation move to the upside here. You've seen this one in the previous weeks, but we're looking at this one here to have been our wave 1, our wave 2. We should see some continuation move to the upside. Even if it's going to trade lower, it should give us this move here before we see this move to a downside. But we like the idea of this one to be continuing higher as Brent crude oil is pushing to the upside. Now let's look at the US dollar ZAR. Somebody is requesting US dollar ZAR. We do cover this one here. So US dollar ZAR, I'm going to switch on the labels here. I'm going to switch on the labels here. We're expecting to see this 3-wave move here. Let me go on the 1 hour chart. Because we don't have this pair listed on the website, so we don't update it more often. But this has been a forecast here when we were around this era here that we're expecting this one to be an ending diagonal. We expected this move and then this move to the upside here before we see this move here. This has already traded lower here. So at some point, we should see this pullback here, but it should continue with this move to the downside. Whether this move to the downside is going to go all the way up, being a 3, 4, 5, still remain to be seen. But in the coming session, expect that you might go back to 1450 before we see a resumption move to the upside on US dollar ZAR. Let's look at the commodity pairs. Gold. We're looking at this one to be done with the move to the downside. So we're expecting to see this move to the upside here. Let me just switch off this here. So we are expecting on 4-hour chart. We're expecting to see this move to the upside. We're looking at this one to be an impulsively move to the upside, this being our wave 1 and this to be our wave 2. And we're looking for this 3 and a 4 and a wave 5. And just to show an alternative structure that might happen here on gold. Yes, in either way, we're looking for this one to make a move to a downside, but to the upside rather. But there is a possibility that this can still make a move to a downside. You might find out that this is a 3-wave move to the downside. This impulsively move we're looking as a wave 1. You might find out that the impulsively move is part of this running flat corrective structure. This could be an A here in 3 waves, this being a wave B, this being a wave C here. Acceptable because this is part of an flat corrective structure. So you can find out that if you look at the internals of that white degree, we had this one to be a 3-wave moves here. Possibly that this could be a start of a move to a downside. That will mean we are in this correction here. That will mean we can get this one here to come around this area without going all the way up and have this one more leg to the downside like this here. That will be a WXY structure. That will mean we have this structure here in what? Being our W here, our wave X, this should be our wave Y before we see this move to the upside. So watch out for gold. Even if you buy this, just expect that this can terminate around this area here before we see this move. With the help of the indicator, it will tell us if this is going to go all the way up. Now let's look at the next one. That would be silver. We're looking at this one to be a corrective structure here. This should have been a three-wave move to a downside, three-wave move up. This should be a three-wave move to a downside, and we're expecting to see this move to the upside there here. So if you must know, or if you're wondering how this is a three-wave move here, we're looking at this here to be a three-wave move. This being our W here, our wave X, this to be our wave Y. The wave Y here is made up of an 11 swing. This being a W, wave X, wave Y, wave X, and this should be our wave Z. Now we're expecting to see that move to the upside on silver. This has already started with the move to the upside on a lower time frame, so it's a matter of just confirming here with a move to the upside. But there was a nice divergence here. If you've seen this, so there's a nice divergence here. So this was just telling us that it's going to be a textbook setup for a move to the upside. Now let's look at the next one. That will be platinum. You saw this one on the trade setup. That you're looking at this one to have already done with the move to the downside. This to have started this move to the upside. This being our wave one. We're looking at this one to be a 2. We should eventually see this move to the upside against this low here. We're going to be looking for buying opportunities on platinum. Brent crude oil, nothing much to say about this one here. You saw that how we traded this one from here, this to have been into the blue box, this to have been a three-wave move here to the downside. Ever since, we've been looking for this one to continue the move to the upside. We're still calling for a continuation move to the upside on Brent crude oil. So every time we're getting these corrective structures, look at that as a buying opportunity. NASDAQ, let's look at the indices. Okay, so the indices, I'm going to refer this here on the website. Okay, I'm going to refer this here on the website. Let's go under the indices. Let me just clean up here. Okay, let's go to the indices. Indices. For start with S&P 500. S&P 500, we're looking for this one to give us this three-wave move here to complete this three-wave move. Then we're going to be looking for this move to the upside. Yeah, that's what we're looking at on S&P 500. As for the alternative structures, guys, you need to watch out for the indices. They might be done. We might be having these bigger corrections here before this move to the upside. But if that's going to be the case, you don't just go and do that. Hence, we've got this one. This is my invalidation level for this wave card. If I can't get this one to come around this area here, then we should expect that we can have this here and then a more move to the downside before we move to the upside. So it's very crucial that you have invalidation levels on your charts. But for now, I'm just looking for this here as a continuation patterns. What people are seeing as a crash of the market, we're looking at that as a capitalizing market to look for these buying opportunities. Now let's look at the next one here. That would be NASDAQ. We're expecting this one here to be a three-wave move to the downside. They are almost the same. As we're looking for this one to complete these three-wave moves here, then we're going to be looking for this continuation move to the upside. So every time the indices, guys, they give you this move to the downside, these corrective structures, you should look at that as a continuation patterns to the upside. So similar applies to Dow Jones. We're looking at this here to be a three-wave move. We are already somewhere around this area here. So still expecting for one more move, and we're going to be looking for a continuation move to the upside. Up until they invalidate these levels, then we can look at those bigger corrections. So already in mind, we do have a possibility that this can be doing those bigger corrections before we see a continuation move to the upside. But as it stands for now, we're looking at this one to continue the move to the upside. UK 100, you've seen this one. Yeah, for a number of times, you've seen that we've been looking at this here to come around this area. This was a trade setup. It came at the blue box area here. So we are still looking for this one here to continue with this move to the upside. This being an A here, I will be looking for this wave C before we can start to look for that move to a downside. Just because you're seeing this big red does not mean you're going to go all the way up, all the way down, guys. So let's look at the next one here. Need to wrap up here, guys. DAX, we're looking for this one here to also give us, we are also looking for this here. Okay, we are looking for this here for this move here. So this wave 4, I believe, is not yet done here. We're still going to be looking for that wave 4 before we see a move to a downside. And Nikki, let me show you on the website here. Let me show you on the live chat on this one here. Let's look at Nikki. Nikki, let me show you here on the one. We saw last week that we were expecting that Nikki was going to give us this move to the upside from here. We were expecting to see this here. This did not play out. That means the wave 1 in the yellow intermediate degree, what we had last week was for this to complete the wave 5 in red, completing this wave 1 in the yellow intermediate degree. But with this deeper correction, it just tells us that the cycle is already done here, this being a 5-wave move. So we're looking at this one now to be wave 2 in an intermediate degree, and we're going to be looking for this one to continue with this move to the upside. So against this low, we should expect to see a continuation move. And the last one here of the indices, that would be Nifty. Nifty, still expecting this one to continue the move to the upside. I'm looking at this here to have been an impulsively move to the upside. This should have been our wave 3 here, our wave 4, and I'm looking for this wave 5 here. Okay, I'm still expecting for this move here. This being my wave 1 here, wave 2, this be wave 3. So we could be getting this deeper correction here, but we should eventually continue with this move to the upside. All right, so guys, that's all what I had for you for the weekly outlook. If you like this here, you can press the like button. Cheers, guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye.